Hello everyone, my name is Duarte Leroux and I'm going to help you with a couple of math questions today that are similar to the NBTs. Here's the first one. Consider the following data if x is greater than or equal to 0 and the mean is 9. X plus 11, 3x, 1 minus 9x and x squared. The median is, and you need to choose A, B, C or D. A classic type of NBT question, although these questions here are questions that we've developed here at Purple Pepper Maths. You can see we have 4 data elements, but the 4 data elements are all algebraic, and yet the median that you have to pick from is a numerical. And so we're going to have to get rid of the algebraics by solving an equation. The equation is simply the sum of the 4 data elements divided by 4 is equal to the mean, and the mean is given to be 9. So let's set up the equation. The equation, as we add these data elements, x plus 11 plus 3x plus 1 minus 9x plus x squared divided by 4 is equal to 9. And as we simplify this equation, one of the first things that we would do is we would multiply by 4 on the left and on the right, and then as we do that, we can add the like terms that sits in the numerator. Let's do that. So that's going to give us x squared. 1x plus 3x is 4x. Minus 9x is minus 5x plus 12. Remember, we multiply the 4 to the left and to the right. That gives us 9 times 4, which is 36. We simplify this quadratic equation. That gives us x squared minus 5x minus 24 is equal to 0. As we factorize, the factors would be x minus 8 and x plus 3, So that would be the other factor. Let me just clean the screen here a little bit. I apologize. There we go, and almost done. So it's going to be x minus 8 and x plus 3 is equal to 0. And as we solve, the answer would have to be x is equal to 8, simply because if you go back to this, remember it says there right at the beginning, x is greater than or equal to 0. And so therefore, x has to be 8, and we're not even going to consider the x equal to negative 3 part. All right, so now that we have x is equal to 8, we can go back and substitute I'm going to clean the screen here, substitute the value of x is equal to 8 into our original data elements just to find the actual values, the actual 4 data values. So here's the first one, x plus 8, remember x is 8, x plus 11, x plus 11 or 8 plus 11 is 19, there's the first data element. The next one is 3x, 3 times 8, which is 24. That's the next data element, 24. And then the next one is 1 minus 9x. 1 minus 9 times 8 is 1 minus 72, which is minus 71. That's the next data element, minus 71. And then the last one is x squared, which is 8 squared, and that is 64. All right, so as we rearrange this in order to find the median, the first smallest data element is minus 71, the next one is 19, the next one is 24, and the next one is 64. Because this is an even number of data elements, there is no middle value. And so what we're going to do is we're going to simply take the 2 middle values, add them. As we add them, that gives us 43. We divide 43 by 2 to get the median, and so the median value would simply be 21.5, and that's the correct answer, and here it sits, so it's answer B. Let's move on to the next one. The next question, question 78 from one of our books here at Purple Pepper Maths, given y is equal to some strange quotient function. If dy dx is equal to also some strange quotient function, then the x coordinates of the turning points of this function are, and you need to choose A, B, C, or D. Here's the key. Remember that considering some other function, let me just pick a cubic function. If you consider the turning points, we know that at the turning points, the derivative is equal to naught. But if the derivative, like in this case here, if the derivative is a fraction, remember that if a over b is equal to naught, then a has to be equal to naught. The numerator has to be naught for the fraction to be naught. And so as we use that fact, consider the given function that we have, that the derivative function, here it is, dy dx is a fraction. The fraction has to be equal to naught, because we know that at the turning point the derivative is naught, and therefore the numerator is naught. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that derivative function, and we're going to make the numerator equal to naught. The numerator from that function is 2 times x squared plus 4x minus 4, and we set that equal to naught and solve. The first thing we would do is we divide by 2 on the left and on the right, and so we simply get x squared plus 4x minus 4 is equal to 0. This quadratic equation doesn't have rational roots, so we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. Of course, the coefficient at x squared is 1, and so x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 4 squared, minus 4 times 1 times minus 4, divided by 2a, which is divided by 2. I'm going to make myself some space here, and so as we simplify this, we will get x is equal to minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times minus 4 is 16 plus 16, which is 32, or 2 times 16. I'm going to write it as 16 times 2 divided by 2. Now consider what you see there, and have a look at the 4 options that are given. These are the 4 options. And so far you can see it would definitely not be D. It would probably not be B. So it looks like A or C. But even if you can't see that yet, we're almost there. And as we simplify, we get minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 times 2 is the square root of 16 times the square root of 2 divided by 2. That's equal to minus 4 plus or minus 4 times the square root of 2 divided by 2. Now you can divide 2, the denominator, into the minus 4. It divides minus 2 times. And into the plus or minus 4 square root 2. That would simplify to give us plus or minus 2 square root 2. And now you can clearly see, as you look at the options, that that would have to be A. And so there's your correct answer. Thank you very much. Love to hear from you here at Purple Pepper Maths.